This one's big in culture, but not big in content. Really, only 3 of these are albums. I've inflated it a little bit. I think you can only get this in Damaged Cases. That's a real grunge attention to detail there. Although actually, I only just bought this for this video. I had a copy of Bleach in the past and gave it away because I thought it just wasn't a thing I'd listen to. Thought it was below my quality horizon, kind of amateurish 4x4 rock. I thought it's still a band I should cover, though, and I should have another look at it. And I was wrong. This is really good. Apparently, Kurt only went so heavy with the music because it's what the people wanted, like what the label wanted. Which brings question to the rest of the career, or at least until post-third album. I guess this is the rawest punk Nirvana, but there's still a real cute Beatlesy song. But at the other end, there's kind of quasi-metal. I do still think they didn't put their absolute best content on the album, but it's very much worth hearing in association with the rest and occasionally by its own merits. This one's slightly jumping the queue because of when its content is from. It's a scrap pile of cast-off tracks that was released to capitalize on the very obvious mainstream success of Nirvana. But it's also a more convincing compilation than the first one. It feels a bit more untamed in the context of there's a bit of goofing around to it, but also more tamed in the context of there's more solid pop songs on this. Just a compilation, some of them are radio session takes, but it's better than Bleach because there's more songs on it, and they're better. Then we get on to the obviously really well-known album Baby Dick. It still holds up and it justifies its success. It's still 4x4 rock, but they've made an absolute art form of it. There's top-tier riffing on this, but it's married into top-tier songcraft. It's beautiful production, maybe in a way that slightly overtames the band, but like that's the studio version, and the live version is something separate and sloppier. I don't know if they suspected when making this just how great and influential and definitive a record they were making, but it's deeply evident to any listener. Now, who loves come downs? Colin loves come downs. And a come down for such an already depression-themed band? Hell yeah. And Albini produced, intentionally lacking in technique, intentionally making something that wouldn't be as successful as that last one. That's going right for me, especially when the songs are this good. I mean, Courtney Love was writing some amazing songs for this band. And they're performed and recorded with an awesome wildness. But there's also some tracks that show Kurt's love for softer stuff. It kind of balances out those that are so heavy that you can't tell any of the words, if there are any. It's a very obvious move for me to put this on the top here, but I've listened to these through and thought about it, and honestly I don't listen to Nevermind all that much compared to this one. Maybe this is the album I love the most, but in thinking it through this week, I might come to regret this later, but I'm not letting myself re-record this. I think Nevermind just edges it in consistency of content. I think maybe via cultural familiarity, this is something I wouldn't want to put on as much. But I put it on for the first time in, I don't know how long, it'll be a matter of years, and realised that honestly and absolutely packs a megaton punch all the way through. So yeah, only recording this once. If I re-recorded this, I wouldn't look the same as today. It's going there. I'm not doing another take with it going above. That's where it goes. Hella close though. I don't usually include live albums in this series. This one gets in because of the amount of original content. Well, they're covers, but it shows what Kurt was interested in doing post-Utero. He was a very honest fan of music, and bringing the Meat Puppets along for this, and including 3 of their songs, they're not that well known, promoting them culturally to being Nirvana songs and leaving off some of Nirvana's biggest singles that wouldn't have gained anything from an MTV Unplugged performance. I really respect that, and it's also musically impressive. Maybe this hints at what Kurt wanted to do next. Famously, he was talking to Michael Stipe at the time. I don't know, this show is for judging content we can actually hear, because it happened. But this more intimate, folksy Nirvana shows a maturity that you wouldn't find much of in their album releases. It affords that context to some tracks you'll already be familiar with. I mean, who am I kidding? No one's gonna discover this via this video. If you discovered this via this video, leave a comment and say how wrong I am. I think for Rank the albums, just the amount of repeated content and the live context set it down to here. I'm not absolutely comfortable with that. It could go up one rung, but I think I mean in how essential it is that you hear it, and the tracks that are also on the albums are also on the albums, so there it goes. There's more great Nirvana content than this, although maybe not quite a CD's worth, so I'm not really interested in all those extra compilations. They wouldn't necessarily be relevant for this series. I know I'm not necessarily educating anyone in my audience on Nirvana. They were ridiculously successful, but quite short-lived. I'd just like to point out that the material backs it up. They deserve their place as such an influential band. Maybe not singularly, like others also deserve that place. This is just a shining example of focused creativity married to absolute chaos. Love it.